That's some good equality. Hello and welcome back to Mad AsexualiTea Party. I'm your host, the mysterious masked Lisa Moon, and this week I'm late because grad school. And this week was my week to pick the theme, and I wanted to pick something a little bit more serious, because I'm weird like that, and I picked how and when did we know we were queer? And I specifically use the word queer so my fellow Equalitea brewers can decide whether that means when did they figure out they weren't straight or when did they figure out exactly what they were. I'm going to go with when I realized I was ace and also describe when I realized I was homoromantic because those were definitely not simultaneous. Some people say that they always knew they were X orientation, and I don't want to say I always knew I was ace, but I had suspicions long ago. My parents ended up telling me about sex, and when I say sex here, I mean they gave me the most basic talk you can give a kid. They described PIV heterosex. That was brought about by me getting this sort of puberty ed type thing in fifth grade, and I don't remember the talk. I genuinely don't. I don't know if I just found it so irrelevant to me in my life and anything remotely resembling my reality that I just tuned out, or I don't know. I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't remember it. Most kids, when they get the talk, they think that's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I never really stopped thinking that, or at least I didn't stop thinking that until high school. At some point in my teenage years, I was like, okay, so I get it. Sex is an act of love. Because that is so disgusting. How could you ever bring yourself to do something so repugnant unless you really wanted to have a baby with someone you loved? Then I found out about queerness. Or rather, I found out about same sex attraction. I was like, wait, there are people who actually want to have sex with someone who, and it's not going to produce a baby? Huh. And that really weirded me out because for a while, particularly through middle school, I was convinced that sexual attraction was a lie. I thought the teachers and the parents made up sexual attraction in order to further the human race. When I was in mid high school, I was really starting to worry that I still thought that the idea of me engaging in sex, yeah, ew. By the time I was about 16, I realized how weird that was. And I was really starting to get the feeling that my brain was just not wired to be sexually attracted to people. And I did consider the possibility that I might be sexually attracted to girls and not guys, but only briefly. In high school, I was a puddle of high achieving self hatred, so I think I did have the potential to develop a couple romantic only crushes on other girls, but I almost didn't allow myself to feel those things because I was so convinced that nobody would ever be interested in me because I was me and I was a net negative influence on the universe. I was kind of a messed up kid. And by 18, I was convinced that I was a really messed up kid. I thought, okay, the jury's in. I don't do sexual attraction. Well, damn, I'm a biological snafu. I am foobar. I am fucked in the head. I am subhuman. There's something deeply and truly flawed in me. Ah, crap. I thought, well, I'll just have to hide it for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be a careeraholic, so that can be my excuse. I can't date you. I have a career. I'm married to my career. So I knew I was asexual when I was 18, but I sort of always suspected it. My parents tell me that I decided I was asexual when I was really young and have refused to allow any other possibility into my head. No, I allowed the possibility into my head, and my head didn't like the possibility. It was like, shoo, this is not me, piss off. And the thing is, I didn't know asexuality was a thing. I thought I was just mentally ill. Turns out I was mentally ill, but asexuality, not a disorder actually. During my first year of college, my dorm was having an event and we had a guest speaker, and the guest speaker was there to talk to us about alcohol safety, but this person had also minored in human sexuality. So I left to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, the guest speaker was describing the female orgasm in lurid detail, and I was very nearly sick to my stomach. So, in yet another fit of self hatred and also praying that maybe I wasn't the only one, I googled asexuality in humans, and I found the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, and I was one of those cliched aces who cried over his, her, zer keyboard when finding out that I was not the only one, that I wasn't alone, I wasn't some sort of cosmic mistake, I was just asexual. And it was wonderfully validating and a huge relief. And so it was only a couple months after that that I started really developing crushes. And like I said, at that point, I knew I was ace. So it didn't take me that long to figure out that I was a homo-romantic ace. Girl who's romantically into girls, but not sexually into anyone. And it was the Asexual Visibility and Education Network, or AVEN, that taught me that asexuals weren't necessarily aromantic, which is what I had previously assumed. So, long story short, realized I was ace when I was 18, or rather, um, realized that the aceness was probably going to be permanent, as any sexual identity can get at 18, realized I was gay and asexual at 19. That's my story. Thank you for watching A Cup of Equality. Tune in next week and make sure you watch my fellow Equality Brewers videos. Oh, and one more thing. After Fran uploads her video this Friday, auditions for the Monday position are going to be closed. So if you want to audition for the Monday spot, best get on that. Alright, take care everyone.